Two of our V-16 class destroyers, which are hunting for enemy convoys while the main fleet is repairing, have caught a Soviet convoy off the coast of southern Finland in the Baltics, and this is our first encounter with an Italian. It looks like an Italian destroyer is in the field, so V-20 and V-26 are going to go in and attempt to take on these two destroyers and then take down the convoy to keep blockading the Soviet economy in the Baltic. Under the cover of grey clouds, the destroyers make their way on an intercept course against the enemy flotilla. And we've made contact. It looks like we have spotted one of the destroyers. Not yet sure what flag is. That's actually Swedish by the looks of it. Interesting. I thought we were fighting Italians. Okay. In any case, get that destroyer targeted. Full turn in case they have torpedoes away. Target torpedoes at the second destroyer. And we are going to get ready to aggressively launch torpedoes against these two destroyers. And we'll see how that looks like. V-20, there's one spread of torpedoes. This might have been from the first one. Although it could be that she hasn't launched her torpedoes yet, in which case we may have to... Oh no, there comes the torpedo launch. Okay, I think she may have launched her torpedoes. So... Let's get ours away against the enemy destroyer while we are focusing the guns on that sweet. I thought we were fighting Italians. That was at least my first assumption here. But let's go into a straight course. And torpedoes have been sent away. Let's see if we can. Enemy destroyers are smoking up. But let's see if they can dodge torpedoes at this range. And that would be a negative. So I think we're going to see, yep, two torpedo impacts, and maybe, okay, they are counter-torping, but I think, oh, I might have misjudged that. Sorry, let's pause that very briefly. I'm going to have to, I thought they sent already. That torpedo spread must have been from the other one. So we are going to emergency engine reverse and see if we can dodge between these two torpedoes. And otherwise we will be taking one. And we managed. Okay, good. So, that has cost us some engine damage, but I think the... Okay, I'm not going to try. I won't even try and pronounce that. But we are still fighting the I'm no longer sure how to pronounce it. Is it Odas? Is it Odace? But let's focus our fire on that thing while we're passing by. The Soviet destroyer has been sent more. Oh, this is the second torpedo spread actually from us. I thought they were sending more torpedoes. Okay, they have been pushed away. They have taken damage from the torpedoes. Let's slow down to 24 knots. And try to focus down this destroyer of unknown origin at this point. Yeah, it seems to be sailing under Swedish flag. Maybe it is an Italian ship that has been sold to the Swedes. That is entirely possible. But the Soviet destroyer is flooding still. So let's see if we can focus down the Swedes here with gunfire. And our destroyers are still trying to get into, back into formation, but I think we've got them surrounded pretty much, and that is a relatively large ship, but I think they're not gonna have any chance once my destroyers have completed their turns, their respective turns, and are actually going to straighten out the course such that the vibrations and maneuvers are no longer distracting them, and then we'll finish off hopefully that Swedish destroyer. This the Soviets are still out there and still seem to be in fighting shape. So let's see if we can finish this one off before. We are still reloading torpedoes, so let's disable our torpedoes for now. Yep, we're getting some penetrations now with the 105 millimeters. What is this thing carrying? This thing is carrying 107 millimeter gun, but she is completely getting wrecked apart here now by the 105 millimeters. She's dead in the water. She's flooding, and while they are trying to enact some damage control here, that is not going to be enough. V20 seems to have taken a hit. Not sure what happened there, but she has engine damage and has seems to be flooding along the citadel. So V26 is still in the fight. We will slow down to 27 knots, and we'll just try to finish off the Swedish destroyer. And while V20 is turning around, let's see if she can get the flooding under control. She has a fire burning in the center as well. Must have taken a hit here. Difficult to see, but she might have taken a hit under below the waterline. But V26 is in good fighting shape, so I'm gonna go for a slight turn, but I think we can finish that one off relatively easily. And then we'll get V20 to turn around. She's got the flooding under control, good. We just have to deal with the engine damage, but she can still make 21 knots, so that should be sufficient. And V26, we're going to go into the turn just so we don't. She's the faster one of the two, just so we don't lose contact. While V20 can come from the other side. It's V26. Let's do a full turn. That is going to throw off her aim, but we will finish this one off. I think that one's relatively done for. She is burning. Yeah, she's burning from stem to stern. I think she's going to be sinking soon. We can finish her off with gunfire. So V20, it is very overcast. V20 can already start taking the Vnushitelny. Okay, I think we're gonna get her. Let's get V26 is making good speed, and we should be able to get a crossfire going here. Just have to make sure we keep the torpedoes off, but I think they're still reloading anyway. So V20 is coming from one side. She has repaired a lot of the. They seem to have gotten a lot of the damage under control. This is really why we need better torpedoes, because we are not doing an awful lot with these relatively old small torpedoes here. But if we can close the range, and I think I'm going to get V26 back up to full speed, just in case she needs to, then we should be able to deal with this thing. Not sure if she still has torpedoes, but I don't. She might not have. There are more gunboats than torpedo boats, really. These little Soviet destroyers. Lots of different caliber guns on them, but we might have to. 11% chance? Yeah, we were a bit too far, so we're gonna get a bit closer. But I think the V20 is gonna have a relatively good shot at her. Doesn't have torpedoes reloaded, but we do need to get V26 to actually start giving chase. So all ahead flank and go after her. And just make sure that we are. I might have to turn around V20 as well, just to get the guns on target. So let's do a full turn here. She has lost rudder control, but she's still making steam. So let's see if we can catch up to her. And we'll see if I need another torpedo run, but I'm not sure about that. The problem is V20 is not the fastest at the moment due to her engine damage. So while she's in the turn, we're just going to try to get onto a parallel course to the Soviet destroyer and then start picking up some speed. We're at a distance of 1 kilometer, so that shouldn't be too bad. and get the guns firing. I think the Soviet destroyer is turning in, probably trying to avoid us. But I don't think she has to. Oh, nice penetrating hit from the. A couple of penetrating hits from the 105 millimeters, and I think that's going to be the end of her. So V20 can drop speed to 18 knots while she is crossing the T here. Nice. That I think was it. Yep, she sinks, and a couple of penetrating fires. There is actually still a flash fire. A couple of turrets are blowing off. And yeah, that's the end of that Soviet destroyer. They're putting out lifeboats, which means that at this point we just need to hunt down the transports. We've had difficulties making out the transport ships in the under the cloud cover, but after some scouting and sailing around, the Soviet transports have been spotted and the two destroyers are racing in to finish the job. The first transport is already sinking, despite us not actually being even in effective gun range, but these are big, slow-moving targets, so not a big problem. I did not want to actually bring you into a battle line, so please keep maintaining course. And we'll get V26 to close in. She is not able to make 33 knots at the moment. Probably not sure why she's turning around, however, but probably due to overloading the engines to race after these transports. V20 is closing in, and that's one transport down. I think there were 4 all in all. Yeah, there's still 3 out there. So let's make sure that we get that we get at least the second one that we can see here, and then we'll see if we can spot the rest in this relatively miserable weather. And there's another one in front. So with V26 racing in from behind. There she is, that little smoke. Nope, actually not there. Somewhere there she is. That's where the gunfire is coming from. Yeah, the transport's taking fire. These things have no armor, so even the occasional hit from the 105mm high explosive is very, very quickly finishing off these ships. And that was the last one, with the 4 transports and the 2 destroyers sunk. And I'm really confused about this one. It is a Carlo Alberto Raccia class destroyer. It could be that this was sold to the Swedes by the Italians, and it makes more sense that that it is here, because what are the Italians doing all the way up in the Baltics? So it was actually an Italian destroyer, but under Swedish flag. And yeah, that's another very successful raid that we've performed in the Baltic, and sunk some more valuable Soviet transports and their escorts. The current status of the High Seas Fleet is that, well, about half of it's in refit or in repair currently in the dockyards. We've got a couple of destroyers that are active, and obviously Scharnhorst, Derflinger, Sachsen, and that's about it really. The rest is still either under construction, but in a couple of months we should start seeing a big set of heavy cruisers coming online, and hopefully, and a couple of these refits. Well, these are still going to take 4 months, but a couple of these repairs are going to be done. So hopefully, if we're taking a quick look right now at this strategic situation in the Baltic. There are a couple of Soviet submarines, but I'm not too concerned about those. There is still the the remnants of the Baltic fleet. So either the Soviets have reinforced that, or have managed to lay down some new ships, but they still have 3 battleships, 4 heavy cruisers, 5 lights, and 11 destroyers sailing around here. And we've currently got most of the high seas fleet, at least the more modern parts of it, active sitting around here. So I am going to, I think, okay, this is Nassau. Nassau is going to stay, but Wuppertal is under repair. Yeah, so Wuppertal is under repair in Pillau. And we have 3 heavy cruisers stationed here, whereas the rest of the fleet is, that's actually a good question. Where is the rest of the fleet? Where are my, where is the Scharnhorst? Is currently in, she is in Danzig. Did I miss that? I thought I looked, oh yeah, there they are. Okay, I just scrolled down. No, there they are. So the Kaiser Wilhelm II, the Scharnhorst and the Wettin are in Danzig, together with a bunch of destroyers. I'm quite happy with the performance of the V16 class destroyers. On the land, we are making slow but steady progress into eastern Poland with our offensive here. The Soviets are still trying to counterattack, but that's not really happening. And the Soviet aggression into Hungary is not making an awful lot of progress, whereas the counteroffensive is doing a little bit better. Unfortunately, the Italians are moving in, but they're not getting anywhere, and we are still, the Western Front is still, well, I would almost say all quiet. In East Asia, the Chinese Empire has decided, after some, how shall we put this, generous donation to political campaigns of the local candidates, to ally themselves with the German Empire. That changes the balance of power completely in the Pacific, and hopefully deters Japan from doing anything stupid over here. At the same time, this means China is at war with the Soviet Union, and despite their current attempts of taking over Bhutan, might open a second front that hopefully collapses the war with the Soviets sooner rather than later. With France's entry into the war and the battles in Africa heating up, one of their destroyers is encountering the V4, one of the old S-138 class destroyers. This is probably going to be a very, very difficult fight, but we'll give it our best and see if we can take out this French raider off the African coast. Yeah, V4 is not a particularly good ship. This is the very, very old, early 19th century design. She's got, I think, two 88mm dual-purpose guns. Well, at this point, not even dual-purpose, just 88s. And she's got like a single torpedo, no, one twin torpedo launcher. So I think her only chance is to get close and drop some torpedoes. So we will try to make that happen if we can catch that French destroyer. And there she is. So we have a French destroyer which looks reasonably more modern than what we are fielding here. So that's more of a torpedo boat versus destroyer kind of battle. And let's see if our 88mm pop guns can do anything against this thing. But we will obviously try to get the torpedoes away as soon as we get close enough to do so, and try to catch her such that we're going bow in and have a better chance of dodging torpedoes. Let's see if we can make a pass here, close by. If we can get her to drop her torpedoes first and evade them, that would be great. But let's see if we can make that happen. I also don't know how fast that thing is, but probably similar to what we're capable of. So let's already do a turn. There come the torpedoes. Nice. So she's dropped her torpedoes very early, and let's see if we can. Oh! We might have to turn into those torpedoes. Let's see if we can get through between them. Yes, we managed to get through between them. The problem now, of course, remains that we need to change course and get ourselves into a torpedo firing position. So let's smoke up and set the torpedoes to aggressive and see if we can See if we can make the... Actually, we might be able to just pass by her, honestly. Yeah, let's just go straight. I think we can just pass by her straight. Drop the torpedoes at point blank range. Come on, drop the torpedoes. And there goes the torpedo. There go the torpedoes. Let's see if she can dodge those. Maybe one. Okay, that's 2 torpedo hits. I think one was a dud. Yeah, one was a dud. So... But it might have caused some damage and some flooding. But again, these torpedoes are not particularly powerful. So let's turn around, get turned around, and try to finish the job with the guns. But it looks like she may be taking on some water. Let's see where we hit her. I think we hit her about the center line here. Let's see. Maybe she'll take on some water. That would be great. And straighten out the course, get some balance into the ship, because let's drop speed down to 25 knots, get the ship to straighten out, and see if we can make something happen with the guns here. But even at point blank range, don't know what. Yeah, this thing's got bigger guns than us, but she is taking on a lot of water from that torpedo hit. I think we might have a chance here, and we're just gonna sail straight at this point. I think she might be losing steam here, and yeah, she's going down. We have managed to sink this French destroyer with torpedoes, thanks to the flooding. And that was our first encounter with the French, I believe, and another victory of the German light forces against a bigger and probably more modern French destroyer. China and the United States have declared war on Japan. This means that we are probably, yes, we are also now at war with Japan. The Soviet Union has pushed back our offensive in eastern Poland, and war is breaking out all over the world. So let's check the situation on land before we're doing anything else. We are still making progress into eastern Poland, and we are still making some progress into Ukraine. I think the Italians aren't getting anywhere. Yeah, the Italians aren't really getting anywhere. So the war is still going on land. Western Front slowly. And we are fighting everywhere in Africa. That's where our destroyer needs to return home now and get some repairs in. Fighting still going on everywhere in Africa. Ethiopia has fallen, but there is, except for the British, who have dropped out of the war, everybody else is currently quite busy. So the Soviet Unions are assaulting the Chinese in Manchuria, and the Chinese are assaulting the French in Indochina. And we are now at war with Japan, which means the Eastern Fleet over here, sorry for the flickering, it's relatively difficult to avoid this, consisting of the very old battleship the König, as well as a couple of destroyers, is probably going to be not very effective in these things. But we have to focus on finishing off the Soviet Union. The next thing I would like to do after dealing with all these convoy raids here will be... Oh, I think we've got some interesting encounters. So it looks like the Soviets actually are coming out to defend their convoys. So these are going to be some really exciting convoy battles coming up in the next episode, where we are going to see relatively evenly matched forces of us trying to completely blockade them in the Baltics with our newly repaired and commissioned ships, and the Soviets in desperation sending out what they have to defend these convoys, and that's going to get interesting. Anyway. No new research so far. That would be super interesting. We're still trying to get the 508mm torpedoes, which should be they'll have plus 200% torpedo damage, so they should be a little bit better, and then we can design ourselves a new destroyer. But that's still 4 months away, And currently, we are, well, the World War has truly started. It's the US, Austria, Hungary, Germany, and China versus Japan, Italy, the Soviet Union, and France. And the British so far have been kicked out of the war, but we'll see if they want to join back in again. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.